Hi everybody, welcome back to the final project presentation. My name is Priscilla and I will be presenting on the effect of parental education, free reduced lunch, and test preparation on student tests performance. And so we're going to jump straight into it and we're going to talk about my introduction. So for me, high school was not too long ago. So from 2014 to 2018, I was in high school, and I know that for a fact that I felt extreme stress and pressure, um, even in high school, and it was everywhere, right? It was amongst my peers. It was even the teachers would pressure you to academically perform better. My parents would also put a lot of pressure on me, and I remember feeling so stressed and feeling like I wasn't in an environment to be myself and grow and learn because I was always beating myself, comparing myself to other people, to my fellow peers, and it was just a really stressful time for me. And so, because I felt this stress so intensely, I decided to focus my project on this. So a Pew survey from 2018 reveals that 70% of teens say anxiety and depression is a major problem, um, and 26% it's a minor problem. So you can see like there is a rise in academic pressure, especially also with what happened with COVID-19. There's COVID-19 related trauma, and so overall there's just a rise in pressure to fit in socially, academically, and financially. And in the same survey, they found that there's differences in gender and household income. So girls are more likely to plan to attend a four-year college than boys. Girls are also more tense and nervous about their day than boys. And in higher income families with higher incomes also plan to attend a four-year college. And teens with a lower household income say they're more worried about their family having enough money, or they feel some pressure to help their family financially. So as you can see that there's a lot of different factors that play a role in students' academic performance, especially in high school. And so now going on to my second topic, we're going to look at sampling method. So the data was gathered from Kaggle.com and contained all the necessary variables for analysis. Then it was cleaned up, so long words were shortened to shorter ones to make it easier in our studio. And then they were separated into groups to perform stratified random sampling. And for that, the data was partitioned into 6 subpopulations. Within each, 50 were selected for random sampling. And so here are the 6 different subpopulations that I used to generate a stratified random sample. So the 6 were the different parental level of education. So I got 50 random samples from each group, master's, bachelor's, associates, some college, high school, and some high school. And so in total I had 300 random samples. Um, so on to my third point, which is data description. And so in this data, I have 4 qualitative variables and 3 quantitative variables. So the 4 qualitative are parental level of education, which include those 6 different subpopulations that I previously mentioned. The gender, lunch status, which includes standard or reduced lunch status, test preparation, which includes completed, whether they completed a test preparation course or not, and the quantitative variables are the math scores, reading scores, and writing scores. So on to my fourth topic, which is like the fun part, the results that I got from our studio. So for my first hypothesis, which is um, whether parental level of education has an impact on student test scores. So a mean bar plot, as you can see here, shows that there might be a significant difference of mean math scores across the 6 different levels of parental level of education. And using a one-way ANOVA, a p-value resulted in 0.003, which is less than the level of significance, and so we can reject the null hypothesis, and we can conclude that there is enough evidence to say that there is a significant difference in mean math scores across these 6 different levels of education. And a Tukey HSD test revealed that the bachelor's group is significantly different than the high school and some high school group. So these groups both have, there is a significant difference of mean math scores between them. And continuing on, for reading scores and writing scores, they revealed the same result. The p-values were lower than 0.05, so there is a significant difference of mean across the 6 levels of education. And so for my second hypothesis is whether gender plays a role in student performance. So I compared the math scores and reading scores between males and females, and I conducted a 2-sample t-test. So for math scores, it looks like male had a higher mean math score than females, and a t-test revealed a p-value less than 0.05, so we can reject the null hypothesis, and we can conclude that there is a significant difference in mean math scores for males and females. And on the other side, reading scores, it's a little different. So it looked, based on the mean bar plot, you can see that females had a higher mean reading scores than males, and a 2-sample t-test revealed that there is a significant difference between the mean reading scores of student tests between males and females. Now on to my third hypothesis, which is the analysis of lunch status and test preparation on student academic performance. So for this one, I actually conducted a chi-square test of independence. So I wanted to see if there was an association between gender and test preparation. So whether females or males received or completed a test preparation course, and judging from my p-value, which turned out to be 0.75, it is greater than 0.05, so there is not sufficient evidence to reject the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative hypothesis. So we can see that between gender and test preparation course, there is no association. And the same thing goes with lunch status and test preparation course. So whether the students who had standard or free or reduced lunch, whether they completed a test preparation course or not, the p-value also resulted in greater than 0.5. So there was also not enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative hypothesis. So we could say that there is no association between lunch status and test preparation course. And so lastly, I wanted to look at whether lunch status or test preparation affected the math scores of the students. So a 2-sample t-test revealed that there is a significant difference of lunch status and mean math scores. So Students who had standard lunch um, received a higher mean math scores than students who had a free or reduced lunch. And same thing goes with test preparation. So a two-sample t-test revealed a p-value less than 0.05, which means that we reject the null hypothesis. So students who completed a test preparation course received higher mean math scores than students who did not. So both resulted in a significant difference of mean math scores. And so finally, we have come to my conclusion. So the results support the hypothesis that parental level of education, gender, lunch status, and test preparation course have a certain level of impact on student test performance. And so from this, we can overall see that a lower economic status results in lower student test performance. So all these, besides gender, parental level of education, lunch status, and test preparation course, I'll reveal a certain level of socioeconomic status. For example, if parents with higher parental level of education probably have higher paying jobs and a higher socioeconomic status. For lunch status, students who can pay for lunch probably have a higher economic status, and as well as test preparation course, students who can pay to have a course for test preparation have a higher socioeconomic status. So overall, a higher socioeconomic status results in an overall higher student test performance in exam. And as for gender, a larger scope of that would be societal attitudes of gender in education may influence how a student performs, or maybe choices in certain subjects. So females, for example, may not be too interested in like math courses versus males. And there's also that um, societal attitude of females being better reading and writing, better at reading and writing than males. And some limitations of this project or this data is that it is a small sample size. It's a relatively small sample size, and it's only data gathered from 3 high schools, and the location of the high schools was not known. It was not mentioned. So future research, I would suggest a larger sample size across all different kinds of schools from the United States. Also take more diversity and ethnicity into consideration. This data set did not really do that, and sorry, it would also be helpful to do long-term follow-up studies on these students to see exactly what factors um, are more likely to impact not only their test performance, but maybe their whole career. And so finally, I just want to conclude that this study also adds to a growing area of research that factors such as gender, parental level of education, and test preparation, courses, all these different indicators of socioeconomic status significantly influences student performances, especially in exams like standardized exams. And that's all I have for today, and thank you for listening. Merry Christmas.